Achetez vos billets d'avion à l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel. Avec l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel, pas de problème de connexion, pas de problème de transfert de vol. Avec l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel, c'est le voyage en toute tranquillité, en toute beauté, de votre maison jusqu'à votre destination. Votre satisfaction est notre plaisir.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is Tempo Africa TV, the #1 Pan-African information outlet by Africans for Africans and for people of African descent around the globe. Welcome to our weekly show, What's Up Africa, Kafel Afrique. I'm Prof. Desiree Balubi, a linguist and communication specialist at Norfolk State University in Virginia, USA. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Kundai Ngwena from Zimbabwe with the following credentials and work experience. She holds an MBA in Quality Control Management from the University of Cambodia, Chartered Institute of Management and Leadership, 2019-2021. Did research specializing on Sustainable Development Initiative on Farming. Becoming Global Citizens for a Sustainable Society in Asia, Pacific Center of Executive Diploma in Safety, Health, Environment, and Quality Management. That's Zimbabwe Institute of Management, 2017-2018. Work experience includes a 2022 iconic Women from Business Connect, 2021 Outstanding Agricultural Research from the Zimbabwe Community News Awards hosted in 2022, and 2022 Resource Person on media platforms such as radio shows, news bulletins, and online media on climate change, environmental management, sustainable development, and business profitability, social issues, and so many other things. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Kundai Ngwena.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Today's topic is agriculture and environmental issues in Africa. Our first question for you, Mrs. Ngwena, what's the link between sustainable development and farming, if any? Is there any link at all? Please share that with our viewers.
Sustainable development, when we talk of that, we are talking about meeting the needs of the present generation as well as meeting the needs of the future generation. So whatever that we'll be doing, be it farming, be it mining, and so on, we must not jeopardize the needs and the wants of the future generation. So the question becomes, where is the link? Yes, the link is there because you find that the future generation still needs to venture into farming in different methods or ways. So by so doing, it means that what we are today, the way we are operating today, we must safeguard their needs or their wants in terms of farming. How do we do it? We must come up with sustainable ways of doing farming. Hence, there is surely a link between the two.
So you're actually saying there is a link. Well, thank you for clarifying that. So our viewers would like to actually get a clear definition of sustainable agriculture, and they expect you to give them some of the best practices. Will you?
Yes, definitely. Not a problem, Prof. When we talk about sustainable agriculture, we are saying that we are carrying out different activities in the farming space, but then at the same time, we are not jeopardizing the needs and the wants of the future generation. So when we talk about sustainable agriculture, there are basically three pillars in that regard. We have the planet, we have the people, and the profit. So when we talk about the profit, we are talking about economic viability. So we are saying with sustainable agriculture, you are guaranteed of economic viability of whatever project that you're carrying out, so long we are doing it sustainably. And then we have the planet. The planet, it speaks to the environment, the natural ecosystems that we have. So we are saying when we incorporate sustainable agriculture, that particular environment that we have, or that particular planet, the natural ecosystems that we have, we will be protecting those. And then we have the people. Whatever farming initiative that we'll be doing, we must not go against would say maybe the needs of the wants of the people. So these include, for instance, water. Their water is supposed to be clean. The air is supposed to be clean, and so on. So when we incorporate now sustainable agriculture, we are assured of that. So basically, those are the three pillars. Then you asked about some of the best practices. There are quite a number, but we'll just mention a few. We have what's called crop rotation. So you find that if you continue to have the same crop over and over again, there is a tendency that some pests and diseases, they will become resistant to conditions that are present. So now, the moment you introduce another crop brings in another kind of pest and disease, another crop, and so on. So maybe you can do your cabbages, your peas. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I can continue.
No, let me ask you this question. You see, with the, I'm trying to extrapolate a little bit, but it's still related, you know. You see the war going on in Ukraine. You see, because of that, we already have shortage of so many shortage in different areas of produce. Like we don't have, I mean, bread is costing more money. How so far away and yet we're suffering? So does it mean that we cannot grow either wheat or what can we do? Okay. Uh, what is tropical agriculture, for example? Does it mean tropical agriculture cannot accommodate wheat and some food livestock that we find in Europe and all over the other places? Can you shed some light on that a little bit?
One thing that we need to appreciate is that Africa is really gifted with so much raw materials. So what we are simply doing is, as we progress towards development, we are now progressing in terms of coming up with technology that is applicable to us as Africans, that it's more like African solutions for African people. So you find that it's what you're saying about the issues to do with the bread price and so on, even the issues to do with fertilizers and so on. Very soon it will be a thing of the past. Why? Because the raw materials are there, researches are being carried out to figure out the best suitable methods that can work for us as Africans. So you find that it's a matter of time, but we are moving and progressing towards that. For instance, there's the issue of fertilizers, for instance. We now have Africans who are actually manufacturing some of these fertilizers, especially the foliar fertilizers in Africa. and these are actually being used in Africa as well. So it's a matter of just giving it time for us to progress to that particular point where we will fully utilize our resources. But we are getting there.
Thank you. I like that. You know, that kind of optimistic overtone. I appreciate that. Now let's get close to you where you are. You are in Harare, right? And that's Zimbabwe. So let's talk about land
Yes.
availability for sustainable agriculture in Zimbabwe. And we're thinking about, we have in mind the post-Mugabe era. Okay. Tell us about land availability. I know late President Mugabe did a lot, you know, fighting to, to get the land to the right people. Okay, redistributing the land. What about land availability for sustainable agriculture to feed all Zimbabweans in post-Mugabe era?
All right. So you find that from with the new dispensation in 2018, there was the mantra that started, which says Zimbabwe is open for business, and this mantra was not only for the foreigners, but it was even meant for the locals. And to move on to that, there was now there were so many I would say initiatives that the government brought forward, not only for the foreign investors, but even for the local investors as well. We'll talk about the issue of land. There was the issue of land audits that started occurring and all that. So these are some of the initiatives that are there to make sure that that land that is not being in use is made useful by other people or organizations or corporates and so on. So yes, land is being made has been made available to people. And there's also the issue of other initiatives that have been there towards the land issue, where because of Zimbabwe being open for business, we now have maybe joint venture contracts where people can come together and then they can start farming activities in different spaces. Just to date, there are 2,000 joint venture contracts that have been registered with the Ministry of Agriculture. So you find that indeed the land is there, and the initiatives, they are there as well. We also have the National Strategy Development Goal #1, which in terms of its macro objectives is pushing towards beneficiation and value addition of the agricultural sector. And you also notice that from that, it has also come up with prioritizing, in fact, climate smart agriculture initiatives. So these are all part of driving towards an upper middle class economy by the year 2030, which is the vision that our president has spelled out from 2018.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, so subscribers and viewers of Temple Africa TV, you are watching Temple Africa TV Live, and the show is What's Up Africa. Today we have Mrs. Kundai Ngwena from Zimbabwe. And this is a golden opportunity for all of you to ask questions live. Ask her whatever question you have in mind. We've been reading stories, and I believe they are taught the stories that are written by maybe medias that are not well informed. But here on Temple Africa TV, information is our passion. The right information will go to the right source. So we want you to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. This is an expert, a native of Zimbabwe. We've heard all kinds of stories. We read about stories. And Kundai, you mentioned open ventures. So Zimbabwe is actually partnering with a lot of businesses. So you know what people read on the media? They read stories about China invading Zimbabwe and taking up the land, and then they are actually not treating Zimbabwean agriculture workers well at all. And what was the story about? Could you set the record straight, Tunde?
Yes.
Yeah, could you tell us something about that? What do you know about that?
Okay, I have just said that our government is doing actually great, is pushing towards greater strides in terms of making sure that even an ordinary citizen, they can still do business. I'll give other examples as well. We have in 2018, we have the Zimbabwe Women's Microfinance Bank. This bank was actually launched or officially opened, and this bank has been has got an agricultural space, or I would say department, that works with loans or facilities to do with agriculture. And several women have been going there, even girls have been going there to secure these loans so that they can start their agriculture initiatives from as little as the backyard farming. We also have the Empower Bank. The Empower Bank has also been assisting the youths, and it also has an agricultural space, or say an agricultural hut for the youths, so that they can actually engage into whatever projects they are doing towards looking at agriculture. So there are quite a number of initiatives that the government has been doing. So in that regard, then I would say that Zimbabwe is open for business, and it is not only a mantra for foreign investors, but even for local investors, because at the end of the day, we want to achieve an upper middle class economy by the year 2030. So no one is being left behind.
Very good. No one is being left behind. You heard it from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
Kundai Ngwena, thank you for sharing that information, because we've been reading all kind of literature. I think that's fake news. The land is available, and the government is taking strides and taking big steps to inventing or coming up with the initiative to empower all agriculture workers, including women, of course. We know our women,
Yes.
brave women working in that field. And my next question for you will be about environmental management. What does that mean? And can you share your experience with our viewers, Mrs. Gueda?
Okay, so environmental management, I would say in simpler terms, we talk about taking care of the environment, that is of our surroundings, the natural ecosystems. We take care of that, of those natural ecosystems, but then whilst we are carrying out our human activities day to day. So that process of taking care of that environment, yet at the same time we are carrying out our activities. That then when we integrate the two, that is when we talk about environmental management. It's there. Why? Because it is one of the pillars of sustainable development. Because remember, the air we breathe today, 10 years later, is someone who is going to live should breathe the same air, or even of better quality. 20 years, 30 years, 3 decades, 4 decades, and so on, they should breathe the same air, but of, if possible, of much better quality. So how do we do that? We engage what is called environmental management. Environmental management goes down to our policies, the way we establish our policies, how we implement our policies, looking at different aspects. For example, in Zimbabwe, we're in the process of amending our Environment Management Act. The exercise is actually ongoing. It's still ongoing. Then you'll find that in that regard, there are also other pillars that we can look at. For instance, there's the issue of example setting. I'll speak for Zimbabwe. Our president in 2018 launched what we call the national cleanup days. Every first Friday of every month is the National Cleanup Day. So to us, it's example setting of taking care of our surroundings, making sure that we don't litter everywhere, making sure that we don't have maybe none. I would say waste disposal methods that are not appreciated by the environment itself, and even the people that will tend to harm the people. We also have things to do with education awareness, education where we celebrate these international days. For instance, the International Days on the Wetlands, which is the 2nd of February. We also have engineering controls, where we have people coming up with different initiatives to make sure that we protect the environment. So those are some of the things that are within the context of environmental management.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Viewers, students, experts, agricultural workers all over the globe, Africans, people of African descent, no matter where you may be, agriculture is the foundation of Africa's economy. Agriculture, agriculture, agriculture. What do we do? How do
Yes.
we do it best? How do we do it best? And Konda is here to answer your questions. She's available, but she won't be here for too long. So you really want to seize this opportunity to ask her any questions you're willing to ask. And student even of the University of the State of African Diaspora, I know you so is interested in this. There is a faculty actually that deals with agriculture. We have professors teaching agriculture, and Kundai is one of those who will be actually sharing knowledge with you. So if you have any questions here, it's for free. Ask questions. You'll hear it from the horse's mouth, as I keep saying. Tune in, dial +1 612 224 2020 +1 612 224 2020. Now, we're talking about environmental management. That's what she's covered, and she's given clear explanations about that. Let's move on to the next point, which is about some causes, effects, and solutions of agricultural pollution on the environment. Because yes, agriculture, not agriculture per se, we must be mindful of the environment. So, what are some causes, Mrs. Buena? Some causes, some effects, and solutions that you may suggest, recommend of agricultural pollution on the environment that Kundai.
Okay. When we look at the causes, you find that agriculture is more complicated, but at the same time interesting. Why? Because agriculture works as a source and as a net in terms of pollution. Pollution here, in this case, we are talking about the greenhouse gases, the greenhouse gases, which are most common. So you find that when I'm saying it's a source, I'm saying that in some instances it's causing these greenhouse gases, introducing them into the atmosphere. But at the same time, in some instances, it's actually absorbing some of these excess gases into the atmosphere. So one of the causes now of pollution is the elimination, or is the disposal of some of these gases. For example, if we have excess nitrogen, it will convert into nitrous oxide, and this then can damage the environment. There's also the issue of excess carbon dioxide as well. But we also need to appreciate that there's respiration that in turn will absorb the carbon dioxide. So you find that the key issue here is the issue of the greenhouse gases that then are contributing towards climate change. So as they are contributing towards climate change, now we then move to the effects. And the effects now are being seen how, because you find that when we have these greenhouse gases, they are causing a shift, or I would say a systematic shift in terms of the climatic conditions. And now what happens is this, the rainfall patterns, the rainfall patterns now are not, you cannot predict them easily. So what will happen, that's when we see we are having droughts, or we are having excess water, or we are having which becomes floods and so on. So you find that in that context now, it then affects agriculture. How? Because we might not have
Hello? Hello? Yes, we're talking about, Kundai was talking about the some causes, effects, and solutions of agricultural pollution on the environment. So you see, we should not pollute the environment, and if you should not pollute the environment, it's not just the trash that we don't take care of here and there, but agriculture itself, can be a source of pollutions. And Kundai was giving us solutions, how we can do that so that we don't increase gas emissions that would increase, you know, uh, big greenhouse effect and result in climate change. We really need good climate for good crops, for sustainable agriculture, and that's what this show is all about. Some techniques, and we really want all our experts to work with our students. We train them in agronomy or agriculture, science, and not just theory, but we have lands made available for the universities, agricultural universities, so that they can implement or experiment what they're learning, not just in their lives, but on the ground, boots on the ground, as we say. It is critically important, isn't it? It is very important. So we've heard from Kundai that there are tall stories. Don't say the Chinese have invaded Zimbabwe, but the government has just opened up the country for business, for partnership, which makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. So it's a win-win partnership with Zimbabwe. And what is important and really interesting is that women are being empowered because they're involved in the process and the production of food. They are our mom, our mothers, they take care of us, and they don't stay at home. It's not stay at home moms. No, they go on the farm, boots on the ground as well. They take bold initiatives. They invest time and energy and effort in doing that. And as somebody would say, it's economic development with human face. Yes, those human faces. Those human faces, men, women, people of all walks of life, which makes it very, very important. Okay, now, Kundai, could you tell us what's the status of environmental impacts on agriculture in Zimbabwe? Did you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I heard the environmental impacts. The environmental impacts that have been existing has really been the issue of climate change at the end of the day. Like, for instance, Zimbabwe being part of Africa, the continent of Africa, we find that in terms of greenhouse gases, we actually emit an approximation of about 5% to the entire global scale in terms of emission. Yet now, in terms of the effects, the greater impact, it is really felt in Africa. And for us, Zimbabwe, being a landlocked country and relying so much as part of our key economic activities, we tend to suffer from that. So the key issue, the key impact at the end of the day will be the issue of climate change, where the prediction of rainfall patterns is difficult to carry out. Sometimes even during the rainy season, you can encounter maybe a week or two of a dry spell. For instance, that happened during this rainy season that has just ended. So those are some of the effects. And yet, like for instance, in Zimbabwe, we would have very good schemes towards the inputs. We have the presidential input scheme where people get fertilizer and seed. And yet now these are good initiatives, but with climate change, which is emanating from the environmental impact, sometimes we might fail to yield such. So yes, those are some of that's what I would say on the issue of environmental impact.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now tell us something about the role of women. You say they're being empowered. Okay. So what's their role? What role are they playing in the Zimbabwe in agriculture? Okay. And in all Zimbabwean initiatives to address environmental problems, what role are they playing? I mean, women.
Okay, I would say, you know what, Prof, it's not that because I'm a woman and, and I'll tend to take their side. No, it's not that. But
Yeah.
I'll simply say this: empower a woman, empower a nation. So anyway,
Right.
to come back to what you have just said, women are playing a pivotal role in terms of in moving towards sustainable agriculture. For instance, women, they offer labor force. You find that some researches that have been done have proved that in sub-Saharan Africa, an estimated 60% is actually the percentage of women that do work in the agricultural sector. So you find that women tend to provide labor force. How? They can, some are now self-employed, looking at in the agricultural space. For instance, when COVID-19 hit everyone globally, many women resorted to farming. Some did backyard farming, some joint venture, some leasing, and so on, so that they could. The first priority, obviously, was to make sure that they ate food supply, and then the second priority, obviously, would be towards food security for the nation. So you find that some have become self-employed, and then some are actually now workers on the fields, and some are unpaid workers on family land. Now it is most of these title deeds, they are under they normally have the names of the male counterpart. So you find that the women in their families, they just go there to work, but when it comes to time for payment, sometimes they might not be paid. But well, these things are changing with how women are now coming up and standing up for themselves, empowering each other, and so on. Then there's also the issue of livestock management, animal management, where women have started to manage small animals, the rabbits, the sheep, in terms of looking at poultry and so on. So those are some of the things that women are actually doing. So you find that in terms of poultry projects, or even loans to do with poultry, or maybe contract farming schemes to do with poultry, there is a higher percentage of women who apply for those loans or who seek to get those loans. And this is actually helping, because at the end of the day, it's not about the quantity, or maybe the capacity, but it's about the produce at the end of the day. Then you look at things to do with fishing. You find that Zimbabwe is blessed with water resources. And in terms of women, you have actually ventured into fishing, doing a whole lot. And in terms of the value chain, looking at the fishing aspect, they are the ones who do the fishing. They are the ones who do the cleaning, the selling, the drying, and so on. So yes, women actually, I would say, taking spearheading value addition in terms of these different spaces that they are in. So, and now looking at opportunities that are then in Zimbabwe in terms of like I mentioned, the Zimbabwe Women's Microfinance Bank. Those are banks that are there to empower women, to assist women, to give them knowledge, to train them, and so on. So yes, they are really playing a pivotal role towards economic growth, which in the end we are pushing towards an upper middle class economy by the year 2030.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kundai Ngwena. Let me say, long live women in Zimbabwe, Zimbabwean women, long live all agriculture workers, but especially the women. Let's keep empowering them, not just in Zimbabwe, but all over Africa. You see, when we see women, we see
Yes.
Mother Nature. They're nurturing, they're caring. You see, we say, as you sow, so shall you reap. Talking about land, yes, but you must help nature as well. That's why we must keep our environment very clean. If you were to give a last word, what would you say to people who always call for going green? We even have green parties in some countries. Okay, we have so many non-governmental organizations working in that area. What advice would you give them? And people who are also doing a lot of farming and animal husbandry, what would be your final word as an expert? And tell them that you too, you own a farm, and land cultivation is not something that is outside of your realms of activity. Kunde Nguena, go for it.
Thank you so much, Prof. I'll start from, firstly, I'll start from a continental level to say that the trade pact has been signed, it has been ratified, and it's up to us as nations to come together to spearhead the implementation of this of the trade pact, so that we build Africa and we build solutions for Africa, because solutions for Africa will work for Africa, and solutions for elsewhere, they'll work elsewhere as well. So as countries, we need to engage. We need to engage in trade, in investment, to start to do discussions and so on. In Zimbabwe recently, we had the Zimbabwe Rwanda Trade and Investment Conference, and it was a wonderful conference as we exchanged notes, and we exchanged notes, we made discussions, and all this really assisted, because at the end of the day, for the trade pact to come into life and to benefit the next generation, we need to make sure that we start to embrace sustainable development. That is, I spoke about the 3 pillars: the profit, the planet, and the people. And then for organizations that are saying go green or go home, things like that, we need to continue to speak the voice. But as we speak the voice, there's also need for us to embrace more on the issue of sustainable development, going down to our tertiary institutions, to our early childhood development centers, and so on, so that even when people are growing up, or when they are moving from the tertiary institution into the space of the workspace, they've already appreciated that sustainable development is the new game. It's not about a corporate image or building a brand, but it is the new game. It has to be part and parcel of our day-to-day lives. And to women who are working and doing whatever they are doing, I urge them to continue, because at the end of the day, sustainable development will not really help us, but it will help the future generation. Why not suffer today for the benefit of the future generation, so that whatever wealth that you're creating, be it you're doing farming, mining, and so on, but whatever wealth you're creating, it then benefits the next generation, so that they breathe clean air, they consume clean water. It's just to name a few, because everyone needs clean air and clean water to survive. So those are some of the remarks that I do have. Prof, I can go on and on, because I'm really passionate when it comes to agriculture, the environment, and the integration.
Yeah, we can tell, Mrs. Sekunda Nguena. Thank you so much. Thank you so much from your explanation, for your brilliant presentation today. This actually confirms what I personally keep saying on this show, that Africa is getting up, is waking up, and we're building this continent from the bottom up. From bottom up, for me, it means it starts from South Africa, the southern countries, southern nations of Africa, and we're coming up, and then we go to the north, and then we will be Africans. Then we go through the diasporas as well, and I know the diaspora, they are also willing to support, because we can't do this alone, just on the continent. The diaspora need to help the continental Africa, and continental Africa should communicate and join hands with the diaspora. We'll come to the end of this show, and let me conclude by saying, fellow Africans, friends, subscribers, and viewers of all walks of life on our sanctified, or shall I say, blessed planet Earth. Thank you for being a part of this enriching initiative. Thank you for watching today's show on agriculture and environmental issues in Africa. The good news is that Tempo Africa TV is making strides to excellence. In fact, we look forward to moving on to satellite, but we can't do it without you. So please sign up and ask friends of friends of friends to help spread the news across our modern world, which is a world without borders. We are certain you won't put off supporting us financially. See details on the screen and on our website on how to do so. GoFundMe is an example, it's a way to do so. But you may also want to sign an MOU with us for a win-win partnership you will never regret. In addition, South Africa welcomes donations to recognize and reward the African youth, such as Kundai Ngwena for excellence and development initiatives, inventions, civic engagement, and remarkable peace-building accomplishments here and there. We strongly believe Africa's renaissance is now. But the most glamorous days of Africa are yet to come. Yes, the African sun will rise again. Mrs. Kundai Ngwena, our heartfelt appreciation goes to you for coming to our show.
Thank you so much, Prof. I'm honored, and thank you so much to our viewers. Thank you. Keep subscribing.
Finally, let's give a big shout out to our producer, Malik Sa, for his perennial hard and smart work, his humility, genius, and unfailing leadership. Thank you for watching today, and may God bless you all.
Bye.
C'est encore Yves Kenao, c'est toujours Yves Kenao qui revient. Cette fois-ci, pour vous dire que Tempo Afrique TV vous offre plus de 4000 chaînes de télévision. Les chaînes européennes, les chaînes américaines, les chaînes asiatiques, les chaînes africaines. À un prix imbattable. À un prix imbattable. Tenez-vous bien. $185 pour 12 mois, inclus le box. Alors, où est-ce que vous pouvez trouver mieux que ça si ce n'est pas sur Tempo Afrique TV? Mesdames, Messieurs, appelez seulement le 612 804 0295 et vous serez servi. Vous serez agréablement surpris de voir plus de 4000 chaînes de télévision rouler sur votre écran comme ça et vous choisissez laquelle vous voulez. Alors mesdames, n'hésitez pas. N'hésitez surtout pas et ne faites pas compter. Prenez votre téléphone, prenez le tout de suite et appelez le 612, le 804, le 02 95. Nous sommes là, ici à Tempo TV, pour rendre votre vie simple et agréable. Alors, saisissez l'occasion. $185 pour toute une année, pour 12 mois, inclus le box. Quoi de mieux que ça?
Du nouveau à Minneapolis, Tempo Afrique Travel. Vous voulez voyager? Achetez vos billets d'avion à l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel. Avec l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel, pas de problème de connexion, pas de problème de transfert de vol. Avec l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel, c'est le voyage en toute tranquillité, en toute beauté, de votre maison jusqu'à votre destination. Votre satisfaction est notre plaisir.